Good morning and welcome to Watch Mojo. Just kidding, we are the Learning Vergara number 5 and we're here to talk about the trends, which are the patterns of continuing change in any aspect of life, and fads or those that have faded away as time flies, but used to be popular shortly from the 2000s, along with their causes and consequences.
The trends in 2000s fashion. If you grew up in 2000s, you'll be astonished to learn that several of the decade's fashion trends have resurfaced. But if you're as eager as we are to embrace one of the best fashion accessories once more, check out the 2000s fashion trend which has lasted since its initial reappearance. The 2000s hair clips. The hair accessories are still popping up everywhere from any store like H&M or online stores. The good news is that you don't have to spend a fortune to nail this trend because it is cheap and cute. Nowadays, other celebrities or even K-pop artists wear this accessory, thus making it a trend once again, like Jennie of Blackpink, Sana of Twice, and Selena Gomez. The fads in fashion. These are some iconic trends in the 2000s that didn't last through the present time. Like the shape of our clothing, hairstyles, and home decor, eyebrow trends have changed dramatically over the previous 100 years. Some of them are still popular now, but others have faded away. Our brows change shape, style, and products designed with time. Our eyebrows in particular have transformed in appearance. But first, let's look at the brow trend from the 2000s, which has now become a fad in the present era. The cause of fashion trend. These certain trends are made by famous people such as the celebrities and influencers. They are the one who's responsible of making these fashion trends. Because it is made by celebrities, a lot of people are encouraged to follow them. However, as time passes, these trends are changed. In today's society, a lot of people follow these trends to fit in, be accepted, and avoid being left out.
As the decade progressed, fashion in 20s began to take cues from 1960s bohemian styles. Women's outfit included yoga trousers, low-rise jeans, cool neck shirts, capri pants, crop jackets, and dresses over the jeans. And also, nowadays, we see young people wearing different style of crop tops for girls, and men are trending to wear cargo shorts and loose t-shirts. Even today, we find artists co-signing clothing businesses with the 2000 era aesthetics, such as all-over print designs in their current collections. The first decade of the 2000s was packed with a string of styles that were iconic as the 1980s and 1990s, yet so far removed. Following the grungy and colorful decade of the 1990s, the quick progress of the new technology brought a multitude of sectorial influences for us to wear throughout the decade.
Mean Girls. The movie is about a 16-year-old girl named Cady Heron that accidentally falls for Aaron Samuels that happened to be an ex-boyfriend of Queen Bee, Regina George. And Cady also unintentionally joined the Plastics, led by Regina herself. She learns that high school can and will be tough. Causes. As we all know, it is one of the most iconic movies out there. Among all Lindsay Lohan's movies, Mean Girls was the movie she was known for and made a mark on people's heart. According to the IMDb website, Mean Girls got a 7 out of 10 rating from the 357,000 people recently watched it. It was a total hit that got 7 successful wins out of 25 nominations. It became popular for the reason that the movie is so relatable. As this trend is not going any soon, people start saying and referencing Karen Smith's line played by Amanda Seyfried that on Wednesdays we wear pink. Most people actually wear pink on Wednesdays. Every October 3rd, Mean Girls fans choose to wear pink in recognition of the Plastics or the Queen Bee's rule that on Wednesdays we wear pink. New York Minute. It is about Roxy and Jane Ryan, two teenage twin sisters from Long Island who end up on a whirlwind adventure in New York City. It was the last film that the Olsen twins did together. On its opening weekend in the United States and Canada, it only earned $5.9 million compared to its budget of $30 million. Most movie critics rated it a 5 out of 10, and happened that it was listed on the 22nd in the worst wide opening of 2000 movies. Its fame sadly didn't go as far as the Mean Girls movie, but it made a mark on Disney fans' hearts. It also contributed an occasional fame style in the fashion category. Jane's reign style consists of chic blazer and skirt sets, while Roxy is always in a band t-shirts and distressed jeans.
Another movie trend is the Spider-Man film series. From the title itself, the story revolves around your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man himself, aka Peter Parker, who was first seen in the Marvel Comics. From Stanley's simple sketches, Spidey now has 8 different films in just less than 2 decades from his first appearance, and that number is still growing. This film series caught the interest of many people because of the movie plot revolving an ordinary man with humble beginnings turned superhero because of a spider bite. He is being loved by fans up to this day, not just due to his great power, but also his journey fulfilling greater responsibilities. According to a research published in the journal Frontiers in Psychiatry, it was proved that watching the quick spider scene from Spider-Man 2 could actually lessen people's fear of spiders by 20%. The rest of the film series could also help watchers feel better, even with their stressful lives, as its story encourages them to confront their fears in life instead of giving up. Now let's move on to the 2005 film, Zathura. If you like watching Jumanji, but this time, one that is packed with more adventures in space, then this is the right movie for you. With a first 76% rating from Rotten Tomatoes, people enjoy watching this especially because it is a movie that a whole family could see together, especially with its warm family or brotherly theme and the space action. After 16 years, some people say that Zathura is a space adventure movie that got lost in time. Celebrities such as Josh Hutcherson, Kristen Stewart, and Dax Shepard were included in its cast. Its director is even the one behind the Iron Man movie, while the story came from the creator of Jumanji. However, it still looks like only a few have already seen it, even though it can now be streamed on Netflix. It was also said that one of the reasons why it did not become a hit is it got buried because of the fourth Harry Potter movie, the first Chronicles of Narnia movie, The Legend of Zorro, Chicken Little, and the remake of King Kong, which were released within weeks after Zathura started airing. Nevertheless, like what I said a while ago, the movie also had its fair share of positive consequences. Its story delights watchers, reminds them about their childhood rivalry with their siblings, and teaches the good in respecting and taking care of each other.
The trends in music have various styles of late 20th century remain popular, such as in rock, pop, metal, and hip-hop. Emo music is a style of rock music characterized by melodic musicianship and expressive, often confessional lyrics. The emo subculture is stereotypical associated with social oppress, sensitivity, and introversion, as well as depression, self-harm, and suicide. Its quick rise in popularity in the early 20s inspired a backlash with the bands such as My Chemical Romance, Paramore, and Fall Out Boys. At the disco rejecting the emo label because of the social stigma and controversy surrounding it. In the mid-20s, we get teen pop rock with Avril Lavigne, the first and lead artist to take new direction in pop music, with hits such as Complicated, I'm With You, and Girlfriend. Even though the popularity aims the mainstream audience dips slightly, country music also continued to rise in sale, having a strong niche in music industry. The genre saw the rise new frontrunners like Taylor Swift and Miley Cyrus, who were able to score top hits in all genre Billboard charts, apart from the country charts, by appealing the wider audience outside the genre. Fun. The 20s were the prime time for music, however many songs that are underappreciated from this incredible decade. Here are some of the forgotten songs from the 20s that you need to add to your Throwback Thursday playlist. I Drove All Night by Celine Dion. Boy, I'll Need You by Mariah Carey. Work It Out by Beyonce. Beverly Hills by Weezer. If I Never See Your Face Again by Maroon 5 featuring Rihanna. Genres such as J-pop and K-pop popularized through the decade, proliferating their culture influence through the East and Southeast of Asia. Also, songs are shorter overall, a 16% decrease from the average length of 4 minutes and 22 seconds in 20s to 3 minutes and 42 seconds now.
Left 4 Dead is a 2008 multiplayer survival horror game developed by Valve South and published by Vault. The game uses Valve's proprietary Source engine and is available for Microsoft Windows, Xbox 360, and Mac OS X. The development on the game was completed on November 13, 2008, and 2 versions were released digitally. Set during the aftermath of a zombie outbreak on the East Coast, the game puts its 4 protagonists, dubbed the Survivors, against hordes of the infected. There are 4 game modes. First, a single-player mode in which allied characters are controlled by AI, or artificial intelligence. A 4-player co-op campaign mode, an 8-player online versus mode, and a 4-player survival mode. In all modes, an artificial intelligence dubbed the Director controls level pacing and item placements in an attempt to create a dynamic experience and increase replay value. Grand Theft Auto: San Andreas is a 2004 action-adventure game developed by Rockstar North and published by Rockstar Games. It is the 5th main entry in the Grand Theft Auto series, following Grand Theft Auto Vice City on 2002 and the 7th installment overall. The game is set within an open-world environment that players can explore and interact with at their leisure. The story follows former gangster Carl, or C.J. Johnson, who returns home following his mother's murder and is drawn back into his former gang and a life of crime while clashing with corrupt authorities and powerful criminals. Carl's journey takes him across the fictional US state of San Andreas. The game features references to many real-life elements of the world, such as its cities, regions, and landmarks, with its plot heavily based on several real-life events in Los Angeles in the early 1990s, including the rivalry between real-life street gangs, the crack epidemic of the 1980s and early 1990s, the LAPD Rampart scandal, and the 1992 Los Angeles riots. Unlike its predecessor, San Andreas introduced gameplay elements that were incorporated in later games, including RPG style, mechanics, customization options with both clothing and vehicle appearances, a vast array of activities and mini-games, and the inclusion of gambling games.
Let's talk about these mobile games that make trends and fads in the 21st century. First, the Mobile Legends were released by Moonton on July 14, 2016 and became popular in Southeast Asia, especially in the Philippines. Until now, it is trending because many people are playing this mobile game and its community became bigger since it is the first title to be announced as a medal game in the inaugural esports tournament of the 2019 SEA Games. The positive effect of playing Mobile Legends is that it can improve brain functions. Improving brain functions means that it can help exercise your brain. In that way, a person can think wisely, it can help a person think of a strategy, and it can relieve stress. It can also remove your problems for a while. On the other hand, the negative effects of this game are being distracted while doing another important task. It can affect your study habits, grades, etc. It also affects social interaction with others and can be cause of addiction. Next, we'll move to the second game, which is Subway Surfers. It is an example of fads where it also became very popular way back in 2012. A lot of young people have played this game before, but unfortunately this game just became popular for a short amount of time. Although there are still some people who play Subway Surfers because it has daily challenges and missions. However, this game also has positive effects, wherein it can also reduce your excess stress and can be useful in improving your response time. It can also help you to improve your concentration. Also, it has negative effects which have few ads that shown up every time you play and have some other glitches and bugs that are more minor than anything else.
The first ever iPhone is one of the biggest trends in technology in the early 2000s because it is a revolutionary magical product that was considered a phone that is 5 years ahead of its time and 5 years ahead of any other mobile phones. It combines the purpose of a mobile phone, an iPod, which is an MP3, a digital camera, and a web browser. During its release period, a lot of people could not wait to get a hold of this phone because of its extraordinary advancement. And the iPhone played a huge part of simplifying the lives of the society. And within those times, it was actually easy to surf on the web, to contact the person you love, and actually take the selfie on your smartphone. This became the start of tremendous innovation in technology, and a lot of mobile phone improvements came after that. We all know that iPhone is indeed a very smart phone, but the downside was it costed a fortune. So only the people who were rich enough, who were privileged enough to afford this iPhone, were the actual ones who could only experience them. But despite the price of the mobile phone, I guess we really love this trend because up until now, it's still ongoing. Now we have 17 generations of iPhone in the present. BlackBerry is one of the earlier phones that arrived in the market. Everybody loved them, but due to its lack of innovation and adaptation, it easily became outdated and unlikable. It is considered a technology fad because the company's stubbornness to adapt and change to the consumer's demand. They did not improve through the years and they sticked on how they started. That is why when the iPhone arrived, it outshined BlackBerry. Now, the important lesson here to learn is that once you don't adapt to everything around you, you will be left behind and get lost to the technology world.
Trend gadget in the 2000s. iPad. When the iPad was announced, few people outside the walls of Apple saw a product that would dominate the portable music player market. Yet, rivals have come and gone, and the ones that remain appear content to fight over the small slice of the market Apple doesn't own. The iPad's success may be attributed to one single factor. Apple advised a strategy, implemented it, and did not stray from it over time. It created a straightforward product that continues to fulfill the same function as it did the day it was released. How the iPad has altered society. The iPad has altered society in many ways. Some of these methods are beneficial while others are detrimental. One thing is certain though, when the iPad was originally released in the United States, it revolutionized people's perceptions of digital music players. The iPad revolutionized society by introducing listeners to the concept of shuffled music. This changed the way people listen to music forever. Users were able to purchase individual tracks from iTunes shortly after the iPad was released. Users of the iPad adored the fact that they could purchase individual tracks for a low price rather than entire albums. The iTunes shop grew in popularity quickly and continues to do so now. Another thing that the iTunes store did to the music industry was to nearly eliminate the record industry. The CD and record makers had a lot of problems selling their CDs and albums after the iPad and iTunes stores were shut down. They had suffered a significant financial loss and were dissatisfied. Fad gadget in the 2000s. PSP or PlayStation Portable. This is an iconic game system that revolutionized mobile consoles in 2005. Aside from its excellent gaming capabilities, the device also includes a number of multimedia tools including image galleries and video playback. In addition to its gaming capabilities, the PSP was widely regarded as a portable media player. Unfortunately, the PSP is no longer in production. It couldn't compete with Nintendo Switch in terms of performance. It's a shame the device didn't gain as much traction as handheld gaming technology like the Nintendo Switch. With that, Sony has chosen to end the online market and provide official support for the gadget. What are the effects or consequences of playing a PSP or playing video games? Playing PSP or playing video games can be both beneficial and harmful at the same time. Playing video games can help people improve their patience and teach them how to persevere when attempting to finish a task in a game. Video games, on the other hand, can be addictive. Some of the negative repercussions of game addiction include irregular sleeping habits, skipping meals, and isolation from the real world.